Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Michael Craddock, and I am the Content Marketing Manager here at Signpost. I'm super excited to give this talk today to everyone because I know social media is one of those things that can be a little bit nuanced or confusing for some people, or maybe even daunting. So I'm really excited to help debunk some myths and give you all some wisdom that you guys can use in your everyday practices. I do want to also remind everyone that this webinar will be recorded and it will be sent out later on this week to everyone that did register. So if you weren't able to register and attend, no worries, that will be sent over. Or if you have any questions or things that you want to look over again after this webinar, we will send that over to you guys as well too. So a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Michael and I'm the Content Marketing Manager here at Signpost. I have a background in English and sociology, and I've learned a lot over my years about effective messaging and ways to communicate with audiences online and how to make sure that your messaging gets in front of the right people at the right time at the right place. So when it comes to all things social media, I've worked with hundreds of local businesses across every vertical that's under the sun that you could think of, to really help turn their online presence around on the different social media platforms to really help them get found in front of the right audience. I've worked with, everyday small businesses, dog groomers, HVAC companies, painters, pest control, insurance, you name it. So I have a lot of really good insights and tidbits to share with you all today of things that I've learned and things that are really effective for other local businesses all across the US. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys today. I've also worked with big name accounts as well too, such as Tyson Foods, and managing social media for companies like Install Building Products of America. So I've really seen it all and done it all when it comes to all things social media. So I'm really excited to get started. So without further ado, let's dive into today's agenda. So first off, we're going to talk about how you can plan and create content with everyone online and how you can really use that to your advantage to create content in a way that is super effective and super helpful for anyone that is, a starter on social media, all the way to people that have been doing this for a while and just need some refreshers. So really excited to talk about that. Then we'll dive into how you can communicate with your audience online as well too. So this is really going to be helpful for anyone that's just starting out and is really trying to navigate what things I should be posting about online and how it can resonate with your audience. We'll then dive into how you can build relationships with your customers and prospects to help to ultimately, at the end of the day, increase customer loyalty, which is what we always want to do whenever we are posting on social media. And then finally, we'll talk about how you can use social media to increase your company's credibility online. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in. So I hear a lot of different small business owners and individuals talk to me about why should I be on social media? Why use social media in 2022 and beyond? And it really comes down to these four things. It culminates into, first, it really helps to build credibility with your audience. It helps to show your audience and anyone that is researching for a service that you may offer, what you do, how you do it, and it just helps to give a face to the brand and humanize it more. It also helps to drive traffic to your website. This is going to be really helpful for anyone that is researching services and wants to just do a little bit more in-depth research. It can help to, if someone is researching your brand online, on Facebook, for instance, it's going to help to then drive them back to your website to submit a claim or request a consultation for services. It also helps to ultimately, like I said, generate those new leads, getting new prospects in the door. And it also helps to build your online brand for free. All of these brands that we're talking about today and all these platforms are free to use, no charge. So it's a great way for you to extend your company's brand and increase brand awareness of your company online. So let's dive into some helpful stats that I think will help to better illustrate why you should be using social media for your business, regardless of the vertical that you're in. On average, people spend 2.5 hours a day on social media networks. I'm guilty of this. I'm sure a lot of you also out there are also guilty of this. We are always on our phones, on our laptops, scrolling mindlessly and taking in a lot of different content online from different platforms. 55% of consumers actually learn about new companies and brands on social media. So, like I said, using social media is a great way to extend your company's messaging to more of a wider audience, a wider net, to get more people in the door to learn about who you are and what you do. In fact, 61% of consumer buying decisions are directly influenced by custom content. So this is really anything that you are posting about. People are digesting what you're posting about and really using that to make a decision about wanting to do business with you, wanting to follow you, or wanting to, potentially schedule business with you down the road. So it's really a great way to provide consumers a way to be more influenced to do business with your company or with your brand. And 71% of consumers who have positive experiences with companies on social media are more likely to recommend them to friends and family. So ding, ding, this is a great, great way for you to, again, create a positive online environment that can help to, again, expand your business to new people, to new audiences, to furthermore grow your business online. So using social media at the end of the day is a great way for you to grow your online business and get new customers. So I talked a little bit about content and social media, and I want to further clarify that there's a difference between organic and paid social media. So when we talk about organic content, which is the primary focus of today's presentation, organic social media is really any regular unpaid content that is posted by the account. So this is whenever you're going on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok and just posting content for free. This can include anything from social media posts to stories, memes, videos, etc. This is all content that you post without spending any money or pushing any dollars behind it. As opposed to paid social media, that is a form of advertising where brands and businesses can actually put money and dollars behind different social media platforms to serve their content to specific audiences. So when in doubt, think of it as paid social media. You're paying that money. Organic social media, it is organic, it's from you, it's free. So today's talk will be diving into how you can really use organic social media to build your online business and to get those new customers. So a lot of people will ask me from time to time, what platforms should I be using? Which platform should I be monitoring or really taking a closer look at to potentially use to my advantage for my company? We've narrowed it down here at Signpost to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. These are really the key players that are really making big strides in the social media landscape, especially platforms like TikTok that are a lot newer, but have been seeing a lot of positive results and really increased user engagement on the platform. So when it comes down to it and you're thinking, Michael, what platform should I be on? Definitely consider Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So I want to further explain to you the differences of the platforms and kind of how you can go about navigating them all, because there are so many that are out there that aren't listed here today. But in terms of the big key players that are listed here, let's dive into that. So in terms of Facebook on the very top, this is really a platform where you can share pictures, videos, and links to keep your audiences engaged. And when I say links, this can be a variety of different things. So links can be blog articles, they can be testimonials, they can be research that has been out there. It's really all of this type of content is really helped to keep your audience engaged and just knowledgeable of what you are doing and kind of the industry as a whole. When it comes to a platform like Instagram, it's a little bit different. It's definitely more of a visual platform. This is where you would post pictures and videos to really help keep your followers informed of your business. So this can be new team member announcements. It can be pictures and videos of work. It can be different promos that you're running. So if you're running a certain sale on different services, or anything like that, this is a great way to visually show your audiences what you are doing so they can stay informed about what you guys are doing all the time. And then finally, one of the most interesting platforms that has seen such a sharp rise in popularity recently is TikTok on the very bottom. This is a platform where you can create short videos anywhere from 1 to 3 to even 10 minutes long. And it can really be used to help to educate, inspire, and captivate audiences. I know from personal experience that TikTok really does have a firm foundation in the social media landscape. It's really a great platform, like again, to educate audiences and get them thinking and really get them engaged with your brand and your business. So we've talked about social media content, but I also want to clarify what content is. As a content marketing manager, I frequently hear, well, what does content actually mean? And really, content is anything that is posted that reflects your brand's voice and your values. It's anything that can be digested online. So like I said earlier, with the different platforms, you're able to post photos, videos, links, reviews, testimonials. All of that is under the umbrella of what content truly is. And content really helps to get you to your bottom line. So it's really a great way to facilitate interest and get people engaged with your brand and your online business to learn more and potentially want to do business with you, refer it to a friend or family member, or anything kind of in between that. So content really is a great driving force to get people hooked into your business and learn about who you are as a company. So now comes the big task of planning your content and thinking about, okay, if I'm not familiar with social media, or I've done it in the past, but I need a refresher, I've got you covered. So a lot of being successful on social media really comes down to planning out your content and planning just your overall kind of view of what you want to accomplish on the platform. So I've narrowed it down to these 6 steps. So the first would be to identify your business goals. So dig deep and think about, what are you trying to accomplish within your business? Is it more sales? Is it expanding to a new market? Is it something else? Really identify what your goals are first for your business, because that will help to influence what happens when you post on social media down the road. You then want to decide who your target audience is. So think about, from a geographic perspective, where your audience is located. Think about your target audience and what they need. What are the questions that they're asking? What are the issues that they're currently facing that you can help to address, answer, or provide some clarity on? Once you've done that and you've been able to identify your goals and decide on who your target audience or audiences are, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to have multiple types of audiences that you're trying to serve. You then want to complete your social media profiles. So after today's talk, if you're like, you know what, I do need to be on Instagram, it's important to fully create your profiles that you want to be on and make sure that they're fully up to date and accurate. So that means, your business name is correct, your address, your phone number, your website link, your logo, all of that is squared away from the get-go. That way you don't have to worry about it later on. You then want to determine what type of content you'll post about. So this will require kind of an inventory or some research on your own merits of looking at, what do I have at my disposal that I can share with my audience? Does your website have blogs that you can share? Do you have videos from different job sites or different events? Do you have events that are coming up that you can, record content of and share with your audience? It really requires a lot of organization and making sure that you understand what you can post about and what you can share with your audiences that is going to get them excited and engaged. From then on out, you want to create a plan of action. So this is really more so the idea of, once you know all of your goals, your audience, and you've created all of the research that's required, you then want to decide how frequently you'll post. Typically, local businesses will post 2 to 3 times a week, depending on, time of year, seasonality, if there are certain specials or events that are happening. It will vary business to business, but it's good to set a cadence for yourself and hold yourself accountable. That way you are posting frequently throughout the week, throughout the seasons, to keep your audience engaged and just, understanding of what will be to come on their platforms. And then the fun part is posting your content. So this is really the last step where you get to finally push that send button and have everyone in your audience base digest that content that we've been talking about. So when it comes to posting content and thinking about, well, what are the different types of things that I can talk about online? Here are some really good starting points to consider whenever you are wanting to post on different channels, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. So thinking about industry news, are there things that are happening within, your vertical that are really important to share with your audience that they can benefit from? Another thing that you can also talk about is tips that your customers can benefit from. So for instance, if we're related to a different vertical, think about HVAC companies and the different times throughout the year. I know from working with previous companies in the past that a huge influx of questions get asked, related to heaters this time of year, now that it's starting to get a little bit colder, or if it's around the springtime and we're, booting back up the AC units, people will always have questions. So if you can get in front of them and provide those tips and those little bits of wisdom, it can really help to get your audience informed and further knowledgeable about whatever their issue may be. Similar to this is answers to common questions. So if your business, frequently hears of certain questions, during phone screenings or in, consultations or anything like that, it's always great to provide those answers online as well too, whether it's through a little graphic or through a short video. Those can really help to just give your audience some more knowledge to arm them whenever they are ready to book a service, give you guys a call, or anything like that. Something else that you can also consider is company and community news. So a lot of the times, especially around the holidays, there's different things like toy drives that are occurring or different events that are taking place around this time of year or throughout the entire year that you can always post about too. It never hurts to put a face to your brand or your company. It just further makes your brand more relatable and easier to communicate with and digest that content down the road. And like I said earlier, videos are also a great thing to post as well too. If someone is wanting to book a remodeling service, for instance, and they want to see the quality of your work, it's a great way to provide some information to them because they're going to be spending probably a lot of money on that work. And so providing those videos up front, giving them the information up front can really help to ease any worries or answer any questions that they might have. And it really just helps to further add credibility to your business whenever you're posting about that online. So in the next couple of slides, I have some examples of different social media posts that you can draw inspiration from depending on your vertical or your business, just to get the wheels turning and the gears going whenever you're thinking about what can I post about. So for instance, in these two examples here on the left-hand side, you'll see an example of an image of a product being made and posted to their Instagram audience. On the right-hand side, there's an example of a community event that a contractor company recently held that shows community engagement and community involvement, which are also great things to just put positive reinforcements to your brand online and further humanize your company as a whole. Some other examples here on the left-hand side, you'll see team member announcement. So if we get a new team member that joins staff, it's always great to post about that online if the individual is comfortable with their face being shown, obviously. On the right-hand side, there's an example of different offers or promos that you can run, giveaways, anything like that. Those are great ways to provide some bait for your audience to get them interested, get them involved, and get them with a reputable service whenever they need it. So these are two great examples that you can draw inspiration from. And then finally, on this third slide, a lot of people also love different memes and just fun little snippets online. So You'll see on the left-hand side, we have a little meme from Toy Story that people really seem to engage with, as you can see by the engagement on the bottom. And then also on the right-hand side and in the middle are examples of different TikTok posts that provide educational content from painters and pest control. So these are really helpful ways to, again, further educate your audience and show different consumers that are looking to potentially book business with you, how you operate and kind of how you use your expertise whenever serving them online. So now let's dive into communicating with audiences. So over the next couple of slides, I'll talk and just give some reminders and pointers for communicating with your audience and just how to kind of navigate that, because there are different platforms, things to keep in mind, and so on and so forth. So first and foremost, it's important that you should always be quick to respond and never keep your customers waiting. So what I mean by that is 75% of online customers expect help within the first 5 minutes of posting a question or sending a message online. And 78% of jobs are going to go to that business that responds first. So once you've posted that content, and if someone reaches out in your direct messages or DM, which is what it's also called, it's important to always be quick to respond to your customers as soon as they send you a message, because you want to be top of mind, because they could easily go to a competitor or someone else that's in your area and get an answer from them before they get an answer from you. So if you are short-staffed, or it's a busy time of the year, or you're going through some different changes within your company, there's a great solution like Signpost that can really help for consumers that use Facebook and Instagram for research, or if they're searching up a different service, to basically respond to anything that they say quickly. So it always comes back down to that convenience factor, because people are always wanting a convenient answer and quickness whenever they pose a question or are wanting to learn more about a certain service that you offer. With Signpost, you can actually integrate your Facebook and Instagram accounts into your Messenger, which basically helps to send an automatic message or response to people with those questions that are pertaining to your business. So it will notify these people automatically of these instances whenever. That way you never miss a lead that is coming in the door. So this is a really huge opportunity for anyone. That way they can stay engaged with your business and not go to a competitor. In terms of other things to keep in mind when communicating with your audience is to abide by their needs and have a built-in backstop. So like we've said earlier, convenience is a huge thing to keep in mind, and also the needs of their customers. So if there are certain questions that keep coming up, you want to be able to have a quick built-in backstop to respond to them instantly. 64% of people usually prefer some type of messaging over a call or an email. People like to have their messaging in that same place. That way they can keep the conversation going with any business that is online. And 30% of consumers usually tend to inquire about something during off hours. So like I said earlier, if you are experiencing really heavy instances of a lot of people calling in or reaching out to your business on Facebook, for instance, there's a great way and a great solution to really utilize that time that's of the essence with Signposts to basically send out instant responses with our instant responders to anyone online through these different platforms. So it's a great way for you to set instant customizable messages that anyone that reaches out to your business can read and respond to instantly. So it's great for companies, like I said earlier, that are going through kind of some difficult times, that are just super busy or don't have the time or the bandwidth to constantly check through their messages. Our instant response feature is a great way to kind of help navigate and keep all those leads maintained and properly engaged with, so you don't lose them if they were to go to competitors. One other thing to keep in mind too is that you should never miss a call that comes into your business if it's from social media, for instance, and never let it go to voicemail. Voicemail is virtually dead nowadays. And so one of the great things that you can do to help prevent any type of lost business is implementing something like a live receptionist to basically help answer and screen incoming calls that come into your business so you don't lose any prospects that are interested in doing business with you. You're 10 times less likely to have leads respond if your outreach takes longer than 5 minutes. And businesses are usually 21% or 21 times more likely to win the job if the calls are answered in 5 minutes versus 30 minutes. So, like I said earlier, live receptionists can be a great way for you to keep any stress that you might have avoided by having someone be a representation of your business and help to answer those incoming calls during busy periods of time or during times when you want to go on vacation or, have a night off to yourself. It's super helpful. I do want to share an example of what a live receptionist phone call would sound like. So I'll go ahead and hit play here. So this is a real life example phone call of what our receptionists sound like whenever they are answering a phone call from a business.
Hi, thank you for calling Smith & Sons Landscaping. This is Casey. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'd like to get scheduled for seasonal service.
Perfect. I'd be happy to help get you started. What's your name and the best phone number to reach you?
Yeah, my name is Sally. My phone number is 492-8278.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I'll get this right on over to a team member, and we look forward to working with you soon.
Thank you.
Take care.
So as you can see here with our live receptionists, they are based in the US and they really act as an extension of your business during those busy times of the year and can really help to maintain all those different leads that are calling in and you don't have the bandwidth or the team capacity to answer all of those phone calls. This can be a great solution for anyone that is looking to get those phone calls answered and screened and still be made and still kept track of whenever you are looking to manage, other aspects of your business. So you don't lose out on anyone that's coming in the door for your business. So now I want to talk a little bit about building relationships with your audience online. As we all know, social media is really a form of escapism and a way for us to kind of escape the day-to-day. So it's important to cultivate a positive online community whenever you are interacting with people online. So it's really important to humanize your brand. Your company and your brand are compiled of really great individuals that work really hard. And so it's important to showcase that whenever you are posting about them on social media. So really make sure to first and foremost, always humanize who you are because everyone is human. It's also important to engage with comments too. A lot of social media platforms and algorithms actually base what content gets seen on different timelines by what posts have the most engagement with them. And when I say engagement, this is referring to anything from comments, likes, and shares. So for instance, if you have a post that has gotten a bunch of likes and a bunch of comments, it never is going to hurt you to respond to those comments, even if they're positive. Especially with negative comments, you do want to respond to those quickly and right away. That way you can, make sure that that problem gets resolved quickly and efficiently. So this also kind of brings us to the next point, which is always be reliable and be honest with your customers. I can't say this enough. People can read through, fakeness online. So it's really important to just always be honest and transparent with your customers whenever you're talking to them online. People are always going to appreciate the truth no matter what it is. And whenever you do provide that proactive customer service, you're further creating a positive online community of relationships that are strong and are built on trust. And people appreciate proactiveness and quickness whenever they have questions, or if it's, in the case of managing leads, being proactive and being quick to respond is always going to help you benefit you in the long run. And then when it comes to increasing credibility with your audience online, social media really does have an impact when it comes to being found online. So if someone is searching for, let's say, HVAC services in your area, sometimes social media platforms for that business will also populate in results. And a lot of times when different companies are posting, on their website and whatnot, they do have links to their social media accounts. And if someone is wanting to research a company to see what their work looks like, being able to go onto their social media platform and further research that company further helps that customer that's looking to do business with them, because they're able to see what their work looks like, and it further adds credibility to your business. And not to mention, when it comes to these different search engines like Google or Bing, for instance, they compile all of this different content to further boost your website presence online too. So it's a very positive thing to be active on social media. And when it comes to things like reviews, whether it's reviews on your website, reviews on your social media platforms, or things like your Google business profile, they can really help to further gain credibility with your audience as well too, because 88% of consumers are directly influenced by online customer service reviews whenever they're making a buying decision. And this is a really important stat that has really helped a lot of business owners take pride and take full ownership of getting more reviews for their business, because it really does have a correlation and an impact whenever people are looking to research a company and want to do business with them. I know for me and myself personally, I recently did a big move, and I was doing a lot of research into different apartment complexes to see what the quality of life was like. I was looking at recent reviews, older reviews, and I was looking to see if those companies responded to things like negative reviews. So at the end of the day, it's important to keep in mind that reviews do also play a part whenever a consumer is looking online at a company's presentation online. So when it comes down to it, with all that we've covered today, it really is easy to automate this entire process of managing leads that come from social media and all the communication that's, super imperative whenever it comes to being hands-on and being involved. Signpost is really helpful to basically help with managing incoming leads, missed calls, and texts to help your audiences reach out, or to help your audiences whenever they are reaching out from social media. We get that life can be super busy, especially this time of year. And so we want to be able to make sure that we can make things easy for you with Signposts. We really help to build your credibility online with any type of person that is reaching out to your business or looking out for a service, because you will always be where they are. We have a lot of great different tools in our suite and our toolbox to provide different companies that are on social media and are getting an influx of messages or queries or phone calls to manage all of those in one direct place. That way you never lose track or have to go across 13 different websites to see where messages are coming in from. You can do all that with Signpost. So that concludes today's presentation. I want to thank everyone for listening in and digesting what I just talked with you all about. I also do want to let everyone know that we are running a special offer right now where you can get a $25 gift card when you book and attend a demo, and then a $100 gift card if you do sign up and start using Signpost. Again, I know that was a lot of information, so I will be checking the Q&A section now. But if anyone is, really interested or has any further questions about our product and how you can use it when it relates to social media, our product specialist, David, is a great resource. And what you can even do right now, if you have your phone with you, you can actually take a picture of this QR code right here, and it will direct you to go ahead and book an appointment with David. So you can learn more about Signpost if you still have a couple of questions or just need some things answered or whatnot. So thank you all for your time today. I'll go ahead now and look in the Q&A section and answer any questions that you guys have. All right, let's see. So we do have one question here. It looks like someone has asked, can you please post the source of the statistics that you referenced? Yeah, definitely. We have all the sources here in this webinar deck. We're happy to send out to you. So I will go and our further emails that we send after this, I am happy to provide that to you guys for sure. And let's see, we have another question here that asks, will you send the presentation via email? We can definitely do that for you. No problem at all. Let's see. And then we have a question here. What are the gift cards for? The gift cards can be used for anything. I think we can use them for Amazon or Visa as well too. So those are really great and helpful gift cards that can basically help, if you're looking to buy something online and you need a little bit of funds for that, no problem at all. Let's see. What percentage of prospects are generated via search engines versus social media? That is a great question. I think when it comes to the percentage of prospects generated via search engines versus social media, it really does depend on the vertical and the business. But from what I have found, though, as it relates to prospects reaching out via online and whatnot, search engines are going to be kind of the primary place where people are going to, or where prospects are going to be coming from. Social media is just a great way to further boost your credibility online and further promote your website online. When search engines are scrolling through different websites, they're going to take note of different pieces of content, whether it be from social media or from your website, and use that to boost your online presence as a whole. So really, the more places you are online, the better it is to be found. So while I don't have a direct answer for that, hopefully that does help to give a little bit more clarity for you. Let's see. It looks like we do have another question here. Let's see. What is a good cost per lead if we are talking about investing in social media ads? That is a good question. In terms of cost per lead for social media ads, it will vary depending on what the ad is about, if it's a video ad or a still image ad. But typically what you would want to aim for is a lower amount. So it would be more efficient to have $1 cost per lead as opposed to a $5 cost per lead. A lot of my background is more so in organic social media, so I'm not a true expert at when it comes to paid social media, but hopefully that does help to answer your question a little bit more. Let's see. Another question we have here is, when you have many customers such as owners, residents, vendors, prospects, how would you split up your social media posts? Who should you be focusing on? Who should you be focusing your posts on? And if it is multiple customers, what split would you suggest? This is a good question. And I love this question. So in terms of, if you are a company that has been active on social media for a very long time, one of the things that I would recommend first up is kind of creating a pie chart of the different things that you have at your disposal. So what I mean by that is, if you have a lot of photos or a lot of videos or a lot of blog posts or links that you can share about, it really helps to kind of think of things as like in thirds. So I would recommend, providing a variety of different types of content to your audiences. People appreciate variety, and whenever you are providing them variety, it really helps to keep them engaged and interactive with your brand. So the more that you can provide different types of content, the better. As opposed to but for your second question, who should you be focusing your posts on? And is it multiple customers? What split would you suggest? I would say, honestly, again, it will vary depending on your vertical. But if you're someone that is working with, customers daily, I think a 50-50 split is fairly adequate. So if you are on jobs a lot, or if you have an office where you do a lot of your work at, it never hurts to have, half of your content be focused on a lot of the different jobs that you're performing, because that's going to ultimately help people that are researching your business online and give them that insight that they're looking for. And then I think the other 50%, that can be used for educational or promotional materials. So that can be, answers to common questions that you may have. And then it can also be other things like specials that you're running or anything along those lines. When in doubt, variety is truly the spice of life and can never hurt whenever you are posting online. But just make sure that you are posting, visual content that is exciting. One of the things that I always like to do is whenever I was, I was having doubts about posting something online, I would always ask a friend for their advice or their input on something, because they're going to be, non-biased. They're going to see it with a fresh set of eyes, and they can always help to give you that insight you're looking for. So maybe it's someone else in your office that is, a little bit more removed from social media than you are. They can help to kind of give you that extra pair of eyes to see if it is exciting or visually engaging and whatnot. Let's see. We have another question here. Will one signpost account work for 5 businesses owned and operated by one corporation? I believe so. I know that we do work a lot of the times with franchises and whatnot. So I believe that would definitely work. And I know that our product specialist, David, can definitely answer that question better than I can, just because he is more on the operation side of things and kind of deals with those queries more often. So he would definitely be a great resource for you. So feel free to, book an appointment with him to answer those types of questions. But I believe the answer is yes. These are some great questions, guys. I really do appreciate it. It looks like those are all of the questions that we have right now. Great. I will just stick around for another minute or so. So if anyone else has any other questions, I will be on here and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Again, I know that was a lot of information, so I really do appreciate everyone sticking around and asking some really good questions. I know that social media can be one of those things that can spur up a lot of different questions that populate. So I'm always happy to answer them for you guys, for sure. Ooh, we have a couple more questions. We just got this question in that asks, do you think Facebook posts or Facebook boosts or TikTok promotions are beneficial? Would you say there is one that is better than another? This is a good question. So from my experience, when it comes to Facebook boosted posts and TikTok promotions, which I'm assuming you're referring to ads, from what I've learned is a lot of it in the initial stages, if you're just starting out, it will be a learning process. So what I mean by that is they're definitely beneficial for you. One of the great things about Facebook and TikTok when it comes to doing ads or anything with money behind it, so that paid social media that we talked a little bit about earlier, a lot of it will be a learning process at first. So what I recommend doing is, if you want to test creating content on both platforms and putting a small dollar amount behind that, and then seeing what the results are with the different targeting aspects and features of both platforms with Facebook and TikTok, you will get different results just based on whatever you are posting about. So what I would see is a lot of it with paid social media is trial and error. So in my experience, I would say it never hurts to kind of compare the two together. So maybe run a small test on Facebook and on TikTok at the same time with the same parameters. I know that they can be a little bit nuanced sometimes, but try to create, very similar environments for targeting and then seeing what your results are. But typically when it comes to the different platforms, you're still going to see positive results regardless. It's just important to remind that for TikTok, it does have to be video content. So if you only have photos or a blog article or something like that you are promoting, that won't work on a platform necessarily like TikTok unless it is video-based content. So just keep that in mind whenever you are posting on those different platforms, for sure. And then would I say which one is better than another? I think they're both great platforms. I know us at Signpost, we do paid ads on those platforms and we've seen success. So it really just kind of depends. And a lot of it really is trial and error. But that can be a great thing because it can help to give you new insights into your business and learn more about what your audience resonates with, because every platform is different, which is crazy to think about, but every platform is different. And so you want to keep that top of mind. You know, some people aren't going to like a video on a certain platform, but they will on another one. And that's because different users are on different platforms. So just keep that top of mind whenever you are, you know, creating paid ads on those platforms. Let's see. Another question I have here is, hello, I have applied to become a Signpost user, but unfortunately Signpost does not allow companies outside of the US. So to answer your question, we are based and operated in the US. So we unfortunately do not work, we do not have clearance to work with companies outside of the US. So that might change down the road, but for now it's just the US, unfortunately. Let's see. I think we have another one here. Let's see. If you are brand new on TikTok, should you develop your page more before doing an ad, or would it be okay to create it and just jump in with the page content and paid ads? I love this question. This is a great question. So to answer that, I would say yes and no, but when you think of it from a consumer perspective, if you post a video ad on TikTok and that user is interested in wanting to do business with you, there is the potential that they might click on your page to learn more about your products and services or to digest more of the informational content. So if you are a business that is just starting out, I would recommend posting a couple of videos from the get-go just to populate your page with some content. This can be anywhere from, 3 to 6 videos. It really just depends on what you have at your disposal and how much time you're willing to spend creating that content and posting it online. So will it hurt if you don't have any other content on your website? Not necessarily, no, but it would definitely help from a credibility perspective and an information gathering perspective, especially if your services are maybe more costly or there are some nuances that are involved with it. I would recommend posting a couple different TikToks onto your page. That way you can at least have some foundational content for your audience to look at if they want to learn more before they click that link or before they, book a demo or get a consultation or give you guys a phone call. Let's see. Another question we have here is, what ratio of posting valuable information versus promoting product events on social media for best results in engagement and purchases? So this will have some variances depending on the product or the event or whatever it is. But my recommendation for ratio is it will vary. I think, it never hurts to set an initial ratio and see how the content performs over time. So what I mean by that is if you were to split a ratio of 50-50 with, valuable, helpful tips, information, things like that, and then the other 50% is very product promotional focused, I would say gauge how your audiences react to that content. And if you find that audiences don't necessarily engage or share or comment, like whatever it may be, with promotional content, it might be an indicator that you need to scale back a little bit. It's kind of similar with the previous question about TikTok and Facebook ads. A lot of it's trial and error, but I would say that think about your business's goals at the same time too. So if your goal is to sell a certain product, you still want to provide your audience some kind of exposition and some introductory content just to get them warmed up to your brand and your business. Because if it's a product that, might be brand new for some people that they're just learning about, they might need a little bit more warming up per se when they are learning about this brand. So I would say, test out your posting ratios and then kind of learn from those findings and then kind of go from there. What I've learned is social media, it's one of those things where it's always constantly evolving. And so you want to be able to react accordingly to what your audience engages with. You don't need to, fully eradicate, promotional content, but just make sure that you're giving your audiences variety and keeping your goals in mind when you are posting on those different platforms. All right, it looks like we don't have any further questions. So I think, yep, we don't have any other questions. So I really appreciate everyone asking these really in-depth questions. And if you have any further questions that might come up after today's presentation, feel free to, again, scan that QR code and book an appointment if you do have any further questions. And we are happy to get back to you in a timely manner. So thank you all for today. I greatly appreciate it. And hopefully you guys all got something helpful out of this. Thank you all and take care. Bye.